Hello everybody, my name is Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto Under 20 in June 2017, not December 2016 like that oldie but goodie. But anyway, I'm here today with a topic, and it's going to be good, hopefully thought-provoking. Sometimes I get, sometimes I really understand that there is maybe a very, very, very thin line between what's a habit and what's a behavioral thing that might need to be altered. You know, what is good for us versus what might not be all the time, versus crutch versus tool. Now, what is a crutch versus a tool? Well, behaviorally, some of us still have nighttime eating, and maybe we have switched from a sugary or even worse, artificially sweetened item with perhaps some grains thrown in, a la Weight Watchers' idea of snacking. And we've exchanged that for maybe a more keto-friendly dessert, like a few fat bombs or something like that. And really, it's no different if you are an addict and you have a well-established behavioral habit that you're not addressing as of yet. Now, you can't do nighttime eating and have intermittent fasting at the same time. So as more of us veer towards understanding that the longer our bodies go in between feedings, with a small window of feeding, that you know, it's so much better for our bodies, and that each bite that we take could cause an insulin spike, which is when the fat burning stops. And so having a lot of little pop into your mouth type of snacks throughout the day, followed by dinner, followed by nighttime eating, no matter what the food item, is not really going to give you the results that you might be looking for. I don't know. Perhaps it's still a crutch for you. Perhaps it's the next thing that you want to work on, because the first thing that you worked on was giving up sugar, or giving up artificial sweeteners, or giving up diet soda, or giving up keto-fied desserts and breads, because you realize that the only difference between them and the real deal is nothing. There is no difference for a lot of us. A lot of us kind of got here because we were addicted to sugary things and bready things and the standard American diet. And so leaning into keto-fied desserts or breads is really more of a crutch and not a tool. What could be a tool? Well, a tool for me that I thought was innocent was gum. I thought, well, that's how I don't eat. But then the more and more I learned about gum, and you can see it in a video that I've done with a follow-up video with Velament from Trader Joe's, and I believe Whole Foods winning hands down, that gum kind of can be a crutch and kind of can be a bad habit and can kind of give you more than you want of soy, lecithin, and artificial sweeteners like aspartame, and maybe even real sugar, to the point of having 2 carbs per stick. And then if you're a gum chewer like me, thinking that this is a BBC, a better bad choice, as some of you know from my previous videos, it might not be okay. If you're chewing 10 pieces of gum that have 2 carbs per stick, there's your 20. And I was doing that. I thought it was a masterful tool. But alas, it's not. Like some people think diet sodas are a great tool. No, they could be a crutch. And artificial sweeteners, your body just doesn't know how to process them. It doesn't. And so if you start doing this wonderful keto plan with everything but the diet sodas still included, who knows? You might not be getting the great results that you want. You might be getting some results because you've given up garbage, but not as great as it could be. So the difference between a crutch and a tool is very personalized. You know, it could be a better bad choice until I learned to give it up, or it could be something that, like, I hadn't even looked at it like it was a crutch. For me, having a sparkling water after, in between the 2 meals that I have each day, is something that I look very much forward to. And I have Poland Springs, and I have every flavor that there is. And so I actually sometimes feel like a different flavor than that one or something like that. And I have my treat. And it's more fluid for my body, and it's a flavorful treat. And to me, that is a tool. A crutch for me would be the gum still. A crutch for me would be having a third cup of coffee with heavy whipping cream and xylitol in it. I could have the water instead. See what I mean? So sometimes our crutches need to be modified into what is a tool. You know, it's a beverage, mid-meals for me. And so the 0-calorie Poland Springs works. So that's what I'd like all of you to be thinking about. What's a crutch in your food plan versus what's a tool in your food plan? Another tool I have is getting out of the kitchen and making sure I have enough fat from meal number 1 to meal number 2. That helps too. And as I go along, I'm noticing that I want less fatty meats in my evening meal. I am happy with a salad with something plopped on top, like a 4-ounce filet mignon, or a side of 4 ounces of wild-caught salmon with a great big salad. I've been listening to a bariatric surgeon named Dr. Vuong, V-U-O-N-G, and he is just delightful and charming and funny, and he talks about having a badass salad every single day, and I do too. To me, that is a tool, and he has his pre-op and post-op patients aim for 66% raw meal food every day, which for him is a green smoothie in the morning and then his big-ass salad for lunch. And he says it doesn't really matter what you eat for dinner. Well, it would for me, but it doesn't for him. But there's a lot of wisdom in what he talks about, and he talks about his pre-op patients. He offers incredible educational classes for his patients, and obviously puts them up on YouTube, how I found him. And so with it, the wisdom is just absolutely the best of the best. And he talks about developing the habits before the surgery. So when you've had your surgery, you know how to make a big-ass salad. And you know that the green smoothie is going to carry you. Things like that. I am not a smoothie fan. Sometimes I think I am. And then I make them and I go, no, I'd rather eat my food. So I'm a rather eat my food. And I do practice the intermittent fasting. So my first meal is, I'm aiming for noon these days. I've shortened made smaller the window, and it seems to be working for me. So I stay busy. That's a tool that I have in the morning. I have my spurt of energy, so I will prep the big-ass salad for dinner. I will prep what's going on for the dinner or the lunch. I will begin to prep. So I fill my morning not only with 2 walks and my 12-step meeting and errands, but also some food prepping, so I can hold off eating my first meal of the day until noon. Because of my food addiction, I'm immediately hungry. And I immediately tell myself it's going to be later, it's going to be later. And so there's a little bit of a struggle between my addict that I call Ms. Slick, because she is, and my saner Sarah every day. And it has nothing to do with hunger. You know, my tummy might growl, but it's growling at 7:30. And little does it know it has maybe 4 or 5 more hours before it gets that first meal of the day. Even though it knows, but it doesn't know, if you know what I mean. The addict steps in and says, no, today you're really hungrier. Have it at 9. And I don't. So a tool for me is to stay busy until my first meal, because once I've had my first meal, I'm ready for the second. It has nothing to do with hunger. It's clear food addiction. But I know that today. And so, as I said earlier in this podcast, I treat it with another tool that I have, which is my Poland Springs flavored sparkling water. It just works for me. I've ordered a 30-pack of raspberry flavored electrolyte powder that I will be adding to water that I have with my vitamins that I usually have right before my first meal of the day. And so I'll let you know how that works, but it's definitely to add more potassium, sodium, magnesium, and calcium into my daily minerals and vitamins that I seem to be not getting in at 100%. And so I look forward to that, and you will get a review of that. And I only ordered a 30-pack so I can see what it tastes like and the results of it before I start doing my automatic hoarding. Oh, this is great. Let's order 6 different flavors. Yeah. If any of you have been watching me, you know that's how I roll. So, look into your day. What is a crutch and what is a tool? And the fine line between them. Or maybe you've never looked at either. Maybe you don't even realize that what you're doing is a crutch or a tool in your day. Or a better bad choice, BBCs, because you know that eventually you will be giving up the fill in the blank. And so for now, it's a better bad choice. This item is a better bad choice than having oopsie bread is a better bad choice than having the old standard bread that you used to eat. And you know that it's probably not in your best interest because it keeps your addict alive because it's thinking it's getting a bread. And you might be wasting an awful lot of money on ingredients that you might be giving up one day. So, just saying, look into it, see what the fine line is for you. Maybe you've never looked at it. Maybe this is the first time. Maybe it's time to clean it up. Who knows? It's personal. It's individual. This is all a journey. No judgment. We just do what we do until we decide we're not going to do it anymore, especially with diet sodas, especially with gums and mints and things like that. This has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food, with another podcast coming your way. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and comment below. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye for now.